Broadcasting live from the Adarkar wastes on the plain of Dominaria, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody, to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Cameron and Kathleen.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
I mean, hello.
Adarkar.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Adarkar.
Magic the Gathering.
Is what we'll be discussing today. In fact, it's a Q&A episode. James asked for some questions on Twitter. It's a great Adarkar. Great start to the show. And we're going to answer those questions, some of them anyway, today. But first, a reminder, of course, that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your cardboard magic needs. Get yourself some Dominaria United. And, of course, this show and everything that we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Alternately, you can also give us super thanks on the YouTube channel if you are watching the YouTube channel and want to just chuck in a couple bucks. And I forgot to mention the Card Kingdom button. If you tell them that we sent you and ask nicely in the comments field, they'll give you a little button. And I don't know what it says right now because we just did a refresh. They should have more by now, but I don't know which one they say.
I just had a thought for a button. I'll put it in Slack.
Great. Please do.
No previews for you.
Yeah.
Also, you want to talk about nicknames, right?
Yeah, right. Thank you, James. James is also here on tech. Yes, the nicknames are open for Dominaria United, and we've made that the suggested changes to the website. I say we. Stephen, your games be over, who built that website for us. The site is currently in submission mode, meaning that you can go there and submit your nicknames. And then, in about a week or so, I guess, it's going to change to voting mode, where then you can go in and vote so that it's not just the earliest suggestions in there that get the most votes, which seemed like it was a thing that might have been happening from time to time. So hopefully this will be more egalitarian. Is that the right word?
Everyone gets the same experience, even if they wake up late.
Equitable.
Yeah. That thing.
So don't set your alarms, kids. You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's move on to the questions that James collated from Twitter. Our first is from Radio Shack Raider. What is your magic white whale? AKA the one thing in Magic you've always wanted but never gotten. Could be a card or a commander deck to work or an opponent to beat. Anything. For a while, it was a legendary bear that was like, not just a legendary bear, but like a legendary bear that was really good as a bear commander. But then they printed my queen, Ayula. So now I don't know what. Now I don't know what to ask for.
I would love it if Storm was fun to play against. Instead of just being this thing that you stare at while your opponent's like, go, 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 I kill you, but it's going to take 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I love that, being on the other side of that. It's great. Storm is awesome to play, but it sucks sour ass to play against, and I appreciate that, so I don't do it very often.
I'll just wait here and see if you can go off. Because sometimes they whiff.
Yeah, sometimes you whiff.
Yeah.
It's bad beats. You hit all 12 lands in a row.
I don't know if I have a magic white whale. Like, I try to take a very zen approach to magic, What comes to me will come to me, and then I will take my inspiration from it. I don't know what I want to build around if I haven't seen it yet. I have nothing in my mind. I guess actually that's a complete lie. I'd like a better Catmander for a cat deck.
Yeah.
I'd like Aribo is great, but I feel that perhaps what he does is not quite. I feel like there could be. I guess that's Kanto though, but she's not a cat. She just makes cats. Or she is a cat.
She's a cat.
Mayhem Diva. It's Ginny Faye who makes cats. I need nothing. I'm perfectly satisfied with everything in life.
We got to work on a magic set, on an unset, and that was
what I wanted.
Yeah.
Was to help write a magic card. It was my white whale was to work on a magic card and to have something that people could say, that is a sign that Kathleen DeVere worked on that magic card. And you know what? I have achieved it.
Yeah, there's a couple from Infinity that are, I think, going to be very obvious to those of you in the know, but they haven't been spoiled yet, so we won't say anything.
I suppose my white whale as Magic the Gathering would be to hunt and kill Magic the Gathering, but instead have it destroy me and everyone who trusts me.
If Cameron's chest had been a cannon, he would have fired his heart upon Magic the Gathering.
From Hell's Heart.
Uplifting. What's
Yeah,
next?
great. Next question. From JJ Mickey Media asks, what makes a draft most enjoyable for you? Now, do you mean like just a singular draft or a draft format?
Maybe we can expand the question a little bit and just say, like, what makes draft attractive to us and what feels good about drafting. I really like it when a deck comes together.
Yeah.
When you feel like you have signaled correctly and read signals correctly, and things come to you, and it just like you after pack 2, you're like, I could run this happily, but pack 3 is just going to be gravy, and I know that all my opponents are also must be assembling decent decks as well, because we're all in our lanes, we're all thriving, we're moisturized.
That's one of the greatest things about draft. That was kind of my answer too. Is just like you also feel so smart.
Yes, yeah. It's a very rewarding feeling.
Yes.
I love that when you're gliding into pack 3 and you already have 20 solid playables. I love that feeling when it's just like, oh yes, yeah, I like that. I like any draft I do with friends is already great. I could do the worst draft format ever that they've ever made, and if I'm hanging out with friends, it'd be fine, right? Like I would be having a blast. So that, there's that aspect of things, but yeah. Getting to draft like a fun format that's full of decks that are, of various kinds that are all good, and everyone's found their lane and putting together, the best decks possible. I don't want to be the only person building a good deck, because that doesn't happen.
No.
Right.
Although I do.
Ideally, everyone's putting together good decks, because then it works well.
I like figuring out the format too. Like I like the challenge of figuring out how the format works and stuff like that, and identifying good cards before running things and being like, this didn't get such a good review in limited resources, but I actually think it's pretty good, right? I mean, because all the first impressions are based off of the first impressions of the card, and no one's played with them yet. So getting in there and actually being like, oh, this is a fun synergy, and that also makes me anything that makes me feel smart. Really.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I liked your comment that one person does not put together a good deck in isolation in a draft pod. Usually it's because everyone is getting what they need and is getting strong together.
Because strong together. Because the alternate is that everyone's fumbling and all the signals are bad, and then just like everyone's deck is bad. And if you're playing in pod, then it's like, I guess that's like okay, because at least everyone's on a similar power level. But if you're playing like on Arena or in leagues on MitGo, then it's just like, well, I have a terrible deck and 7 other people do, but I'm going to be playing against people who have good decks, and that's going to go badly for me. So, yeah. Next question. From Freddie the Third Hand, do you ever find that having Magic be such a big part of your job dampens your enthusiasm for it? If so, what brings it back?
Yes. And what brings it back? What brings it back is actually playing with people, right?
Magic, boo! The Gathering, yay!
Yeah. Well, not even that, but you go online and it's just wall to wall negativity.
Oh yeah, no, I hate the discourse.
Yeah, the discourse is terrible, but actually playing the game reminds me that it's fun.
Yeah, playing it in person, doing an in-person draft. God, every time we have people out for the PPR and we just get to play cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Such a good game. So enjoyable.
Yeah, actually getting to play the cards. I have a similar experience when I'm raiding in an MMO. I find the experience of grinding up to get raid ready very tiresome, but actually playing the content with friends is really interesting and fun.
Yeah.
But I never remember that part. I always remember the part where getting ready to play sucks.
Yeah. It's funny. I think a big part of it is, and I know that this is going to sound baffling as we sit here on our Magic the Gathering podcast that airs on our purely Magic the Gathering content YouTube channel, but I don't consider us Magic the Gathering content creators. We create a lot of Magic the Gathering content, but we do a lot of other stuff as well, and I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, full agree. If this was an office space that was exclusively dedicated to Magic the Gathering, I think I would have a much harder time with it. But being able to come here and collaborate on just writing dumb jokes with my friends, or sometimes quite clever jokes with my friends, that is unrelated to any of that, is constantly refreshing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is a big help that it's not that we do a lot of stuff outside of Magic. That said, I mean, yes, sometimes there is that aspect, but I agree that it is it's one of those things where it's like, some days, not every day, some days you might be like, oh, okay, yeah, got to go play some Magic. But then you start playing the Magic and you're like, oh, wait, there's rules.
Yep.
I'm always like, man, I wish I could be playing Magic right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
we play a lot of Magic on our own time. Like we play a lot of Arena.
Yeah,
right.
That's
like,
it's my video game, my leisure video game.
but being able to like mentally touch grass, right? When the Magic discourse gets you down, is what brings me back to it.
Yeah. Next question from Captain Ender. Magic has been doing a lot of premium products these days, between secret lairs and what have you. If Wizards were to come to you and ask you to create a secret lair specifically for your MTG interests, what would be in it? Ooh. So it's not necessarily like a Universes Beyond kind of question, but a secret lair, but I guess it could be, but a secret lair for your, what do you want out of Magic?
I am going to go ahead and steal a friend's secret lair. My friend Leah said that if she had been able to track down the author of the fungus Tumblr post, holding a gun to a mushroom, tell me the name of God.
You cannot kill me in any way that matters.
I'm not afraid of you. If she had been able to track down the author of that post, then a black-green fungus-themed secret lair
I love it.
around it,
I love
with
it.
that as flavor text.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Full credit to Leah Miller at Cultural Geek Girl on Twitter.
Oh, that's so good.
Is just it makes me so happy.
It's really good. Let me think.
I have two answers.
Please.
Now, this is not my answer, but I saw it on the MTG subreddit. Someone suggested a Discworld secret lair, and I was like, oh, that's so much better and less self-indulgent than my idea.
I more than a secret lair, like the Doctor Who treatment where it's 4 commander decks or like a set like Lord of the Rings. There's so much.
Susan Stohheelan as an Orzhov commander. Oh my God.
You could do so much with the Discworld. It'd be amazing.
I love Susan Stohheelan so much.
Oh yeah.
My queen. She's Death's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Granny Weatherwax. That'd be so good.
The witches would definitely have their own deck.
Vimes and the Watch. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right, these commander decks curate themselves.
Yeah, Cohen the Barbarian and the Silver Horde. There's so many possibilities.
All artifacts.
Yeah.
But my self-indulgent one is I'd like to have a 6th district of Ravnica with reskinned locations and like actual cards and characters to be like locations and stuff like that.
For anyone watching who's unfamiliar.
Oh, I did a D&D campaign set in Ravnica once, and it was the longest thing I've ever written.
It was
and
great.
I honestly do think one of the best things I'd ever written, except episode 6, which is like,
It's
wrote
called
that one on vacation.
It's called By Law and Order, and it is under the Dice Friends brand. All the VODs are on youtube.com/loadingreadyrun because we haven't moved all the old Dice Friends stuff to the tabletop channel. But you should definitely, if you haven't watched By Law and Order, it's great. It's Kathleen is running the game, and it's Cameron and Ian and Ben and Serge are the players. And there's 10 episodes because there's 10 guilds.
Yeah.
Get it? It's about sausages.
Yeah. Watch the Sausage Party.
It's about
how the sausage is made.
it's literally about how the sausage is made in Ravnica. I would love that.
Yeah.
Get what's his name? Beppis. Beppis the Loxodon.
Beppis the Loxodon.
And what was the name of the Simic dude? It's a very common name.
Vogos.
Right, Vogos.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's like several.
No,
people
he was the
He was the
Golgari.
Golgari guy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But there's like several people named Vogos.
Yeah, you meet several Vogai along the way.
Yeah.
He's just this
a very common
Vogai,
name.
you know. Douglas Adams' secret lair, by the way, would be good.
Oh yeah.
The Heart of Gold could be like the Weatherlight I assume these are just like sort of like, like the Dracula thing where they reskinned cards and stuff like that. I mean, you already have Rurik Thar. He could be Zaphod Beetlebrox, a canonically two-headed character.
I would actually really like to see for Warhammer 40K, an Eldari themed secret lair around Eldrad Ulthran, who is an Eldar. He's like the most proficient Eldar Farseer, but his thing is usually diverting attention away from his craft world of Ulthwi by getting other people to fight. And I think that would be an interesting dynamic in Commander, where you actually, you can probably take a hit, but why? Why would you ever want to?
Yeah.
I hope that the 40K, or sorry, the Warhammer 40,000 commander decks are popular enough that because it's the Ruinous Powers and the Imperium and the Tyranids and the Necron, right, are the 4 that they're releasing. I hope that those are successful enough that then they can go back and they can do the Orcs and the Eldar and the the other ones.
I would love to see an Eldrad themed secret lair with him where he has goad.
Nice.
Of some kind, like some ability to goad.
Speaking of which, they did just put today, I believe, at time of recording, they put up the announcement saying where people are going to be able to find reveals for cards in the Warhammer 40K commander decks, and we're listed on September 12th, and we are in fact doing the full deck reveal of the Ruinous Powers. Some of those cards will have been revealed through other outlets in the morning, but myself and Ben and Cameron actually are going to have we've recorded it already. We're going to sit down and do the full reveal of all the cards in the deck, and I learn a lot about Warhammer.
I talk a lot about Warhammer, and it's probably all wrong now. But, I mean, I feel a lot of it is still right.
Yeah.
And it does reflect a point of history in Warhammer.
Exactly.
When I was right.
That was the best time.
Yes. Yeah.
I also liked when I was right. Let's move on to the next question. That was a great question. Thank you. Peyton Asian asks, with things like mill being keyworded and the use of stun counters in Dominaria United being very elegant in my opinion, what would you all like to see keyworded or made simpler?
I think the one that I found that we talked about a couple of weeks ago on the podcast was cannot be blocked by a creature of power 2 or less.
Yeah.
I think that might be a useful thing to keyword.
Because there's the enlisted, it's not, it has enlist. It's the something.
It's an uncommon green.
Something behemoth.
Monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linebreaker behemoth.
Something like that. It's a 4/5 with enlist for 3 green, I think.
Yeah.
And it has that ability. Honestly, I just want
Pro weenie.
Linebreaker Baloth. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Linebreaker Behemoth is a different card.
But yeah, protection from weenies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protection from chumps.
Yeah, no chumps.
Yeah, just call it Chad.
I just want, just for the benefit of like space in the rules box, I really just want some codification of when this creature enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
Every other card game has figured this out. Even Magic Spellslingers, they call it debut.
Oh.
It just goes debut, this thing. Only because when this creature enters the battlefield is such a mouthful
Yeah.
in purely in character limit on the rules box. Right?
Wake.
And
or
they'll-
something.
Yeah.
And remember, the less stuff you have in the rules box, the more room you have for flavor text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that tells the story.
That's what really matters.
Yeah.
Say people
Says-
with a
Says 3 people who've written flavor text.
we want more flavor text. There's some cards that we wrote flavor text for in Infinity that didn't get flavor text because there's too many rules.
Yep.
So, rabble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be mine. It'd be the ETB, but yeah, and the power 2 or less is a good one as well.
I don't really have one.
No, it's fine. You don't have to.
No.
But we do have another question if you want. Great. From Caleb Fire Dragon. For some reason, you are responsible for giving the Ravnica guilds their mechanics for the next Ravnica set. Ooh. You're not allowed to use mechanics any guild has already used, and you must use mechanics that already exist. What mechanics do you choose for each guild?
Is it just get Storm?
Yep.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
You asked us, we get to choose? Yeah, all right, cool.
Why not?
I feel like Selesnya honestly would be a great candidate for enlist, like giving power,
Yes.
coming together,
definitely.
contributing. And I actually quite like enlist as a mechanic, so I'd be happy to have it back.
I think Azorius as the no fun allowed guild should get some kind of protection mechanic. That is maybe
Ward. Is
Yeah,
everything-
Ward.
that's so unfun.
yeah.
Ward is already like a deciduous mechanic, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just sort of around.
What about just like Thalia's text line? Everything from the Azorius Guild is a little bit Thalia.
I'm a little bit Thalia. Yeah, just they what was that thing that they did? It was like they only did this in like for a couple creatures in one core set. It was the like hexproof from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, what if just Azorius can just put stun counters on and it's just called like reading, or it's got to be an existing thing, but just you're reading them the rules and it takes
Yeah,
so
like
long to read.
paperwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
paperwork, and they're just like, I give up for a turn. They're detained. Wait, detain is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Detain,
Detain's a thing.
Detain was their one for Return to Ravnica block.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see stun counters doing it.
Yeah. Stun counters are just such an elegant way of doing that kind of mechanic.
Okay, who else do we have? Boros.
Boros.
Trombompoline.
Actually, you could give Rakdos Bloodthirst because it's very similar to Spectacle.
Yeah.
Or
Golgari.
Madness, maybe for Rakdos.
Ooh, yeah. Madness works great for Rakdos.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
There's got to be something for Golgari. What other?
I mean, when I was looking at this question last night, I was thinking like Delirium mechanically fits for Golgari, but the name doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What about some kind of like regrowth ability or something like that? Which is, they've kind of done this before. Like, I feel like the Ravnica guilds have all been like, their sort of color identities have been well explored.
Yeah.
Oh, give Izzet channel, and have it care about cards in your bin
okay.
or spells in your bin, like instants and sorceries.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Give it,
Instead
like,
of Storm. Yeah.
channel, or I guess, well, because creatures can have channel. You gotta wait. You give it channel and figure it out. Figure out a way that
We're-
works.
We're ideas people.
Yeah,
figure
we're
it
say
out.
that this is
R&D.
channel.
Yeah.
And then who haven't we
Simic?
done? Simic.
Simic, Demir,
Orzhov,
Orzhov. I think that's it.
Gruul.
Gruul.
Oh, give Simic Monstrous from Theros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, whoops, all our stuff got big.
Yep.
It's very similar to Adapt, but it's not.
Or Fusion, or the one from Unstable.
Oh, where you fuse two creatures
yes.
together?
That's better. Yeah.
yeah.
Host Augment.
Yeah. Host
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah.
Or Brizella, that thing.
Oh, the fuse cards?
Yeah, yeah.
The giant cards?
Yeah.
Oh. Who could have that? Could we give that to one of the guilds?
Well, that would be Simic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Orzhov Soul Shift.
Yep.
Oh, Soul Shift. Yes, that would be perfect. That would work flavorfully too, since they let everyone out of the church.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Demir should have channel.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's a fairly well trod space for blue black. Or something that represents their sneaking. Like maybe if you could codify the Ophidian ability.
Yeah. Or like, honestly, like, I mean, I know it's like ninjutsu because them sneaking in
Yeah.
undetected. Because like straight unblockable is fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
I think ninjutsu would be great.
Boros could have, was it from Amonkhet, Exert.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very aggressive. Yeah. Who haven't we covered? I've been keeping
I think
track.
that's everybody now.
Gruul.
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 What is something like
How we forget Gruul?
landfall or something like that? Like, because like they're all about like
Yeah.
destroying the thing and
Oh.
you know what I mean?
Alliance, actually, from New Capenna. The Creature Fall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work well for Gruul. And even Alliance still works as a name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There. I think we did pretty well with that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can give us your own ideas in the comments. Next, from Jordan Carlson. How did Elder Dragon Social Club come about as being what it is? Great question.
That is a Nelson Salahub joint, I believe.
The name.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do, for a while now, we've wanted to do some stuff. And we you know what? I'll admit, I resisted for a while because it was like, people were like, you should do edited Commander videos. And we were like, no, that's Game Nights does that. But then everyone is doing it. and we do it in a different way than game night. I love game night. Been on it twice.
Yeah.
Big fan of game nights, but we do it in a different way. And we realized, we could do that. We could do it in our own way that would be different, and that would be fine. And so eventually we were like, all right, let's actually do that. And then we also talked to Card Kingdom. There was a confluence of stuff that they were like, we are looking for a new Commander series. And we were like, guess what?
We're looking to make one.
The timing worked out impeccably for that.
Yeah.
And then the name we were throwing around. I wonder if the thread is still there. I don't think it is. We were throwing around a bunch of different names, and Nelson suggested Elder Dragon Social Club, and we were just like, that's great, because not only is it like kind of funny and a nice reference to
Buena Vista Social Club,
the band, but that was what we were going for. That was the vibe we were going for with the show, is that it was social and hanging out, and it's just like we're just chilling, being friends and playing Commander, and it's not about the deck brewing or the combos popping off. It's just about us hanging out and goofing around and being friends and playing Magic cards, which is what that was what we saw as a niche that we could make a Commander show that existed well in, and yeah. I'm really pleased with it. Next episode, we have our first guest. No spoilers, but excited about that.
I mean, I spoiled it at the end of the PPR.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's Foxy.
Yeah.
Next question from Jordan Carlson. What would you change? Oh no, this is not actually from Jordan Carlson. This one's from Genomancer. Yeah. What would you change about Commander if you could, practical or not? It's worth noting Genomancer is on the Commander Rules Committee.
An objective way of rating the power of your deck. Figure it out.
Yeah, well, he did say practical or not.
Yeah, practical
and so,
or not.
Yeah. In the realm of the impractical, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. No more miscommunication. Oh, I think this is an average deck. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I would like to have commander decks that shuffle themselves, because I have small hands, and 100 cards is a lot.
Oh, that
Yeah. Self-shuffling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that's the slowest part, is like shuffling and sleeving up the deck.
I used to have like an automatic card shuffler for my grandma used for bridge.
I don't think,
But
would
it doesn't
handle the
work with
sleeves.
sleeves.
And boy, and the thing is, I have
Makes a heck of a noise too.
I'm sure you could design a robot to do it, but there's like no one who's gonna trust like a several $100 card or more in a robot.
Yeah.
It didn't bend the cards. It just sort of like fired them. It was like
It did a automatic riffle shuffle.
you put half the card on either side, and then it would like just fire them in
It
one
only
after
takes
another.
one jammed gear to ruin a card.
Yeah. But I mean, if it could be made flawless.
Yep.
If we could get one that would work with sleeves, I would
there's-
definitely get one for the studio.
Yeah. Is there some kind of like magical gnome that you could pay?
Yeah.
That he would just show up and shuffle your cards for you with like very long fingers, I assume. A goblin of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I think red caps have very long fingers. They're probably fine. They're probably not going to kill you and
No.
soak their hats in your blood.
A lot of people have theorized ways to take the edge off being the player who gets to go last.
Yeah.
And I saw, because right now it's everyone goes and draws a card. And I saw a thing that was like, the player who goes first doesn't get anything, and then the player who goes this is assuming 4 players. The player that goes second gets a free scry. Like they keep their 7, but also they scry, and then the next player scries like 2 or 3 or something, and then the 4th player draws a card. I saw some theories around this, and it just seemed impractical.
I don't want to
and
draw an extra card if I'm fourth, because if I don't have a 1-drop, then I'm just going to discard it.
Well, you'd
no,
be
not
playing a land.
No, not an extra card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like-
but drawing on your first turn.
Yeah, only the player that goes fourth gets
Yeah.
to draw.
I drew 2. And it's
No,
like, well, I can only
everyone
draw
else gets
play
to
1 land.
That's no good thought. That
That's me
yeah.
problem solving for a problem that's not there.
But anyway, I was like, yeah, that sounds neat, and also really just a pain in the ass to like manage and figure out, and maybe it doesn't even actually solve the problem. So, we've been of no help today. Thank you for your question, Gavin. Appreciate it. Different Gavin for those keeping score at home. Next question. Ravager Math asks, what would you change about Magic to lessen the division between the casual and competitive community? Wow. That's a big question.
I mean, I'm not sure that the division needs to be bridged. I think it needs to be clearly communicated and expectations around it set.
Yeah.
I've said in the past that some of the most enjoyable tabletop games I've played have been against extremely competitive players with extremely competitive lists, where that expectation was communicated beforehand, and I went into it knowing what I was getting into with somebody who was there to fight tooth and nail. Right? We had one player in my 40K community back home who just brought ass kicker lists and was like very explicit about what he was doing and his understanding of the rules and played hard. And that was fine.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was totally fine.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
You're not
I-
like, what, I thought this was a friendly game.
Yeah, and he's
Right.
like, it is. But I also am here to win a game.
Yeah. And we have discussions like that when we're, I know that like we were talking about, we did Friday Night Paper Fight Pauper a couple weeks ago, right? And you guys were all discussing, like Nelson was like, so I know, are these decks that we've bunged together or are we playing meta? Because like I have like incredibly competitive list that I'm keen to bring, unless other people have decks that are not like in this sphere. And then they had that discussion and I think they ended up not going that direction. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you need to. The divide, a divide is okay. I don't want casual and competitive players to be mad at one another.
Yeah.
I want them to understand that they're separate and to have, as Cam said, have those discussions to make sure that it's clear
Yeah.
what side of that divide you're on.
Yeah, like I have had negative experiences in casual environments where a player has said, this is my casual deck because, and they didn't say this part, because this is a no longer meta competitive deck.
Right.
But it was a meta competitive deck like last year. But it's not anymore. Therefore, it's a casual deck now. Right? That was an unpleasant experience.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, Be by the Bow asks.
It's like that pop star.
Asks, how do each of you approach collection management? They continue, I've found myself much happier now that I've sold everything, save for what decks I truly use, and have a few sentimental cards I love.
I need to go to YJ and pick up, I think, 2 more 3-row or 4-row long boxes, and then put all of my unsorted cards into them, and then give them to Ben Wheeler and tell him to make them go away and to come back to me with a long box of Highlander staples.
And some money.
Yeah, and
Presumably.
Commanders. I don't even care. Right? I'm just like, I can't look at this anymore.
Yeah, that's our collection management is
Closet.
Yeah. No, I have a couple of the older Secret Lair boxes, the bigger ones. I have a couple that are just full of what I call like a Commander Tinker Board, which is just like various things that seem like they would probably be useful for some Commander decks. Not that I brew very many of them. And then every 6 months to a year, we'll do a big sell order to Card Kingdom and just be like, get rid of it. But like draft commons and uncommons and stuff, it would be very easy for us to retain a great number of Magic cards,
And we do.
but we try not to retain that many because otherwise the closet's only so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would be happy with a long box of Commander staples and a long box of Highlander staples.
Yeah.
And just give up on the idea of playing constructed
Yeah, see,
formats.
we don't, none of the people speaking to you here play constructed formats. Like
In
we don't
paper.
play
Yeah, in paper.
standard or modern. Yeah, we play some a little bit on arena, but like, yeah, so that helps. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like having to be like, oh shoot, I don't have 4 of this uncommon that I need for this deck. I got to go buy 4 of them, and then they're useless later. And it's not for me. But I have a surprising amount of sealed product at home.
That's good. That's not a Magic collection. That's a college fund in Potentia.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, I do have a sealed booster box of Lorwyn, which at last time I checked was like creeping up on $1,000, which is ridiculous.
Considering
Right.
we paid $60 for it at a convention.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also bought a box of Ravnica at that convention, and we opened it at that convention, and I wish we hadn't. But
Yep.
hey.
Oh, well. Easy come, easy go.
Yep. Next question from Fruan. What's your favorite Magic format from a video production perspective? Ooh, that's interesting.
Not draft. Draft is a real video production headache.
Yeah. Though we have a theory about it, but you'll see that at some point.
I think sealed is interesting just because you get a lot of conversation around, like, how do I assemble this pool? We can all see it, and I'm going to talk to you about it, but that isn't production. That's...
Well, it's part of it.
It's part of it, but yeah.
I mean, we started doing like the little like filming everybody cracking their packs and then intercutting that to show more of
Yeah,
that.
it's good storytelling.
Yeah. Sealed gives you a lot of opportunity for like really built-in storytelling, which is nice.
I mean, I really like what we've done with Elder Dragon Social Club.
Yeah, I was going to say
gotta
Commander, honestly, is really good because you can really just cut down to the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then there's usually large, ridiculous things happening in Commander because it's a multiplayer format, so it's a little bit goofier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? And that doesn't happen in the same way as Standard because, you know, you've got less people and, you know, generally less ridiculous stuff happening.
Yeah. I think probably what the worst one would be, and I don't think we've done this, would be, is it called Rochester Draft? Is that the one where you're just like, here's all the cards, everything's face up,
I think so.
and then you pick one, and then you pick one, and then you pick, but it's all, having the cards all out there invisible and known would just be such a pain. I know Nellie was talking about
Wasn't
how
that the format of the beta draft a couple of years ago at Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did Nellie was saying they did a Rochester Draft, or Jeremy was telling me about it. They did a Rochester Draft during the pandemic remotely, and Nelson was hosting it. So it was all on Nelson's webcam, but it was difficult to do with a webcam. So everybody was just like, what's that card do? What's that card do? What's that card do? And the actual like draft portion of it took like 4 hours.
Pandemic Magic is my least favorite format.
Yeah.
Shotgun Lotus.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Last question.
Last question. Jorbs asks, which of the 4 colors is strongest?
Teal? It's got to be teal, right?
Puce.
I didn't even think about Puce. You're right.
Oh, Puce.
It comes.
Wow.
Everyone forgets about Puce.
Yeah.
Although I would say perhaps Meta Puce, i.e. Ultraviolet, would be
Ooh.
the strongest.
Yeah.
How do you factor chartreuse into these rankings?
Oh, way below brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like. I know
do
that
like brown.
Wizards has been putting a lot of work into fixing Puce and to like making it more competitive and limited and stuff like that. So I really think it's really up. But I feel it's just chartreuse is just suffering from not understanding where it is in the color square.
Yeah, not having a very strong identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, struck.
It's got its own quadrant, but what's it really doing in there?
Yeah, struck between indigo and banana.
Yeah. I'm surprised they just put a straight up banana on there.
Yeah, they just duct taped it to a wall.
Yeah.
But it's been popular.
It's certainly thought provoking.
Makes you think. Apostrophe S.
If you want to order yourself some cards for your upcoming Puce Brown Commander deck, check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Let them know we sent you and ask for a button, and they should give you one if they have any. And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Honestly, just being here and commenting is a big help too, but if you want to throw us a couple bucks on the YouTube, you can do that as well. Reminder, check out lrr.cc/nicknames to submit your Dominaria United nicknames, and we'll do that episode shortly. But for now, I've been Graham, joined by Cameron and Kathleen. And James is on tech. Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.